I don't really have any ideas for today's video. Okay, you gotta stick to what you know. Okay, gotta remember where you're from. Okay, don't forget who you are. Okay, that's lovely, but it doesn't actually help me right now. Right, babe, I gotta go. Okay, I got a lunch meeting with the cheeky girls. Bye. So I'm from a town in South Wales called Cwmbran, and it's quite a weird town, and when I tell stories about it people are always like, what? Like Lil, I'm always telling her things about Cwmbran and she's always like that can't be true, or she's just like in utter shock. So I took Lil to Cwmbran recently and I showed her the sights. And just like, oh, this is where, you know, this happened, and this story I told you that happened there, and blah blah blah. And when I was there, I said like, oh, it's a small town, you know, it's 50,000 people, and Lil was like, that's not a small town. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, a small town's like 2,000 people. I was like, okay. She was like, that is a very big town. Like 50,000 people is a lot of people. And I was like, okay, like I never knew that, because when you're in Cwmbran you just, it sort of sucks you in and you just sort of accept everything on face value. You don't question the weird shit that's going on there. So until I was sort of like 18, going to uni, meeting a lot of people that weren't sort of from there or weren't used to it, I didn't really question like the weird shit that goes on there. Like my boss is from Cardiff and he always says like it's a very strange town. And I just always thought like, yeah, it is it? So here's some stuff about Cwmbran that makes it really weird. No one has a real name. I don't know if this is like a straight bloke thing in general, but I found in my studies of the world that in Cwmbran, if you're a straight bloke, one, you probably play rugby. That's just sort of a given. Two, you won't have a real name. Your name will either be your last name, you'll just go by your last name, or it'll be like some stupid story that happened 15 years ago that is just stuck. Or, my uncle, his nickname was passed down from my granddad. He has a multi-generational nickname that he had nothing to do with like the conception of it. That's how much people in Cwmbran just fucking love calling people by their nicknames. If I'm at a family like function and I hear like my dad or my brother-in-law or my uncle telling a story, I just like try and make eye contact with someone just to sort of acknowledge the strangeness that's going on, where like, oh, Bim Bam was talking to Bonkers who was talking to Flatfoot and he was saying this about his missus, and I'm like, Bim Bam and Bonkers and Flatfoot? Like, those aren't names. What happened to Richard and Dan? They're dead. Richard and Dan are dead, and all there is Bim Bam and Bonkers now. On the subject of weird names and everyone not having a real name, I used to know a drug dealer. I didn't buy drugs from him. I bought drugs, not from him. And his name was Merlin. And that was his real name. Like, I was like, oh, okay, like, that's his nickname. What's his real name? Merlin. It's on his driving license. He showed me. I was like, okay, your name's Merlin. Popular, normal, first name there, no questions, no follow-up on that. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know the crazy story that had gone on that led to this guy, his mum giving birth and going, you look like a Merlin. Little beard, little hat, lovely. I also once got off with a guy whose name was Jesus. I don't know if that was his real name, didn't want to ask. I just accepted it. I wanted to go with the flow and be like, yeah, I got off with Jesus, because it sounds fun. If you're offended by that, I am genuinely sorry, but it happened. That's my life. Not Jesus like son of God. He may have been. No, he wasn't. A few doors up from us, there was a couple that were like younger than my parents, didn't have kids, and they had a dog. They were very friendly with my mum and dad, still are, they've moved now. And they had a dog. okay? And this dog was fucking awesome, but it didn't have back legs, it had wheels instead. And genuinely, that dog was like my best friend when I was a kid. That dog was a really fucking good dog. When I tell this story to people, you know, I tell it probably a bit differently to that, because I'm usually drunk when I'm telling it. When I was growing up, my best friend was the dog, had wheels and no back legs. That's odd, but that wasn't odd at the time, and it's still like, it's like, oh yeah, that was your best friend, wasn't it? Like, yeah, it's my best friend. One, a dog, not a human. Two, it was like a mechanical dog. It was half mechanical. It was a cyborg dog, a cyber dog. A fucking. It got put down in the end. I was distraught. I was not. I'm still upset about it now. But yeah, it was a dog with wheels for back legs. And then, my best friend after that, I traded in a dog with wheels instead of back legs for a girl with a drinking problem instead of a sense of morality. So that, you know, was kind of keeping the tone. I wonder what Merlin's doing now. In Cwmbran there's a farm. It's not a working farm, it's just like a tourist attraction. There's no tourists, but it's there. It's called Green Meadow Community Farm. It's kind of like up, it's in like up, the up bit. Cwmbran's a valley, so it's up. And there are llamas there, okay? And they're on both sides of a road. There's a big field, there's a road going through it, there's llamas either side. And for most of my life, I didn't know how the llamas got from one side to the other, but you could see it, you know, you drive up there one point in the day, they're all on one side, drive back down, they're all on the other side. Don't question it. And it wasn't because we were on different sides of the road, because I thought about that and it wasn't. Years later, I was about 18, my friend and I just, for some reason, started talking about the community farm, probably how awesome it is. There was a dragon there that like sprouted water out of his mouth. Don't know if it's still there. I hope to God it is. Go to Green Meadow Community Farm. Do you reckon I could get sponsored for this? From them. I wonder how much money they have. Anyway, so the llamas, she's telling me, because she's been all in the community farm, and I'd never, you know, explored properly there, there's a fucking secret llama tunnel that goes under the road. And when I tell people this, they're like, that's not a thing. It's so a thing. Go to Cwmbran, everyone now, hop on, you know, a jet or a bicycle, whatever you need to do to get to Cwmbran. Go to Green Meadow Community Farm and ask them, go right up to the counter, bang a little bell, there's probably no bell, bang the little bell and say, is there a secret llama tunnel? And they will say no, because it's a secret. Secret. Up until the 40s there was pretty much nothing there. There were a few old pubs and stuff sort of on the higher ground, but the lower ground was all kind of swampy. It was a swamp. Cwmbran was a swamp. And in the 40s they built a steelworks, there's a biscuit factory, I don't know when that went in, I feel like that was the 70s, but there's a steelworks, there's a tyre factory, there's a few factories that were built in around the 40s. They needed houses for the people who worked there, so they literally pumped the water out of the swamp, built houses. They built a river as well. There's parts of the river in Cwmbran are man-made. You can see where the big blocks are that they built it with. So Cwmbran literally used to be a swamp. I'm from a swamp. I'm a swamp person. Also from a family of witches, so technically I am a swamp witch. And even people in Cwmbran don't believe me when I tell them that, because they weren't there in the 40s. No, I wasn't, but I have Google. And a lot of people in Cwmbran don't. Fact number 10. I'm not counting these, why did I do that? Fact number 11. They do have Google, that was a lie. Cwmbran is one of the few places in the whole world that if all the ice caps melted and all of the water that's ice was now water again, it'd be fine. Absolutely fine. It wouldn't affect it. Probably rain more, I guess, but we wouldn't be underwater. More than I can say for London. London 0, Cwmbran 1. I said if, I probably should say when, because global warming's happening quickly. We're all gonna die. Well, not me, because I'll be in Cwmbran with my mum. And we'll be coastal then, so we can go to the beach whenever we want. Lovely. We'll love it. And it'll be warm all the time. So we can just go to the beach in our bikinis, me and my mum. Sunbathing. Like I said before, there's a biscuit factory, Burton's Biscuits. They do most of the biscuits in the whole of the UK. I don't know if that's true, but I've said it now. And whenever they're cooking, whenever the ovens are on, if the wind hits it just right, the whole town smells of biscuits. So not only did it used to be a swamp, also smells like biscuits pretty much all the time. I think I should be like the ambassador for tourism in Cwmbran because I'm from there, I'm amazing, I'm there a lot. You know, you might bump into me, probably won't recognise me because I'm a bit incognito. But it smells biscuits, used to be a swamp, some great pubs, some really bad pubs, but there's some great pubs. Pay me. Cwmbran Council, pay me. Cwmbran Council? Or Gwen? Are they Cwmbran or Gwen? Okay, so if I haven't already sold you on Cwmbran, I love that this started off as just me explaining what Cwmbran is like and how weird it is, and then became, go to Cwmbran, it's great. Because it is weird, but it is also great. It is, it depends where you go. They have the second biggest shopping centre that's undercover in the whole of Wales. Like, that's amazing. This town that I thought was small, evidently isn't, has the second biggest undercover shopping centre in the whole of Wales, the whole of the country. So, you know, and there's a Marks, there's a Matlan, there's 4 Gregs, I'm not even joking, that's not a joke, there's 4 Gregs. And it's not that big, considering it's the second biggest in Wales. It's not actually that big, but there are 4 Gregs. There's more Gregs than there are actually people in the town centre at any given time. You're not allowed in. If there's already 3 people in the town centre, they have to wait. It's a 1 in, 1 out policy. It's bouncers the whole way. This one I really didn't think was weird until I started telling my friends about it. At Easter time, we paint eggs. How do I make this sound not weird? We paint hard-boiled eggs, go up the mountain, all there as a group, stand there, and then roll them down the mountain. The person who can get to the bottom without them breaking is the winner. There's no prize. And it's like a fun activity. My friends are really like, this, you are insane. Me and my mum are very into it. Yeah, there's quite a few of us that go up there. I didn't go this year, weirdly. I was busy. But yeah, egg rolling. I'm fairly sure that's not just a Cwmbran thing as well, because I saw something, someone posted something online about rolling an egg down it, and they were like, is this normal? And I was like, yeah, but they weren't from Cwmbran. So, I feel like that is a weird town thing, but it's not exclusively for Cwmbran. Used to be a swamp, smells of biscuits, egg race, down a mountain. It's not even a race, because no one wins. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, these things are normal, these things sound normal. But I don't know, let me know. Let me know if your town is weirder than my hometown. It probably isn't. Thanks so much for watching, like, subscribe, comment, let me know how weird your town is and the weird shit that goes on there. We got loads of stuff coming up. Loads of Diana stuff that we're working on. It's all hush hush at the moment, so be ready for that. Like the Facebook pages as well, because that's also important. And I'll see you next time. Bye!